Hey, what's up, guys? It's Luke, and you're watching Luke the Gathering. Yesterday night, today's Saturday morning, but yesterday night was Friday Night Magic. It was the very last Brothers War draft for Brothers War season at our local game store. And I gotta be honest, I think I'm gonna miss the set. Set was really fun to draft. There was a lot of great games that I was a part of, and my result last night was definitely not the best. I went 1-2. The games were really close, I gotta say, except for my second round. Second round I didn't do well. The deck didn't do well. Everything just fell apart. But first round, the person we went to round, game three, and it was a really close game. And then the third game, which I won, the deck performed really well, and so I was mildly happy with the results of this particular deck that I'm holding in my hands that I'm going to share with you. And then for prize support, I got a draft booster of Dominaria United and a draft booster of Unfinity. So we'll check out what we get in those things after we take a look at this deck that I got put together. And the draft started really, really odd, actually. I got to be honest with you. This was actually my pack one, pick one, the Altar of Dementia. And what it does is you sacrifice a creature, and then a target player mills cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Really wacky card, especially for draft. It's a mythic, rare, mythic. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why I drafted it. I was like, ooh, maybe I can make a mill deck. Maybe I can get a Keening Stone or some other mill cards. That never happened. I didn't get a Millstone. I didn't see any of those cards ever. So maybe it wasn't the best pack one, pick one that I could have ever made, but it was more about fun, I guess, this time around. And it was definitely fun, so that mission accomplished, I suppose. But there we go. And then it was just Artifact City for the first few picks. 2 Foundry Inspectors in a row. I thought that was great. So my immediate thought was to go into Selesnya, white, green, with some really big green creatures and white to support. I thought that would be good. Didn't happen, but I didn't know that at this point. And I got a Quicksilver Amulet. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I get the Quicksilver Amulet, if I have the Foundry Inspector out, I can get it down for 3. If I have 2, I can get it down for 2. And then, wow, I could just start playing big creatures. And I did get this to be useful. I did play some really big creatures with this. I did get a Rust Goliath off with it, which was awesome to play it just for, really 8 mana, right? 4 for the Amulet and then 4 more for this. But I got to pay it off in installments, and you can't do that, regularly. I also got to play Suchi Caveguard with that early game, and it just won the game. The guy couldn't do anything after that. Especially, I'll show you something I had later with it. Ironclaw Crusher was great as well. This I did not get off with the amulet, but it was I did play it mostly with its prototype cost. Steel Exemplar. This I did play with the amulet, and I was able to get the 6/6 ability with it. Sweet. Burnished Heart. See, look at all these artifacts. So many artifacts. Mask of the Jade Crafter. This was powerhouse once again, just making giant creatures. So this was really a giant creature artifact deck. Oftentimes this came down for just one because it had the Foundry Inspector out. Energy Refractor. Again, another artifact. Just kind of lets you draw a card, cantrips. And this is what I was talking about, the Aeronaut's Wings. I had the Suchi with these wings, and it was doing 9 damage a turn, vigilance. Really nasty stuff. And then I also had the Iron Crusher thing with this on, flying in the air. It just made it hard, and it came down for 1 with the Foundry Inspector. So the Foundry Inspector was huge. I feel like I probably could have gone 2 and I should have gone 2-1 instead of 1-2, but my opponent in the third game of the first round made some really, really, really clutch plays, and I can't fault it. Scatter Ray. These are kind of cards that I feel like aren't as expected as much in Limited. Scatter Ray. It's kind of a counter. Urza's Rebuff. People aren't expecting counters, and so I thought I'd play some, and they make a huge difference. I definitely would have lost the game if I didn't have this card. There was a time when they were facing off against my Crusher, and they double blocked, and I was trying to get rid of their Platoon Dispenser, And then they played Guy's Will, and I was like, oh boy. But I rebuffed it, and that was really the whole game right there. Stern Lesson was great. Draw 2, discard, and then make a Power Stone, which, of course, in my deck, all Power Stones are welcome. Urza, Power Stone Prodigy. I didn't get to use him, actually. I don't think I ever got him onto the board. That was kind of sad. I don't, sometimes, when you play these games, there are just some cards that don't pop up ever, and Urza was one of them. Philology, Archaeologist. This was okay. I needed some lower drops in the deck, and this was fine. Citadel Stalwart was fine as well. I never actually got to use the ability here. It did come down as a 1-drop. Useful just to chump some of the things I had to do to stay alive. Opportunist, this is one of my favorite cards in the set, where when he comes down, you get to make a Power Stone token, which is, of course, huge in these decks. Giant Growth, I never saw this card either, but it's a great card. Epic Confrontation, very useful. I wish it was an instant instead of a sorcery, but it's fine. This is really nice because you can actually take out a creature with it, and then your creature's then +1/+1, and you can swing at their face, which is, I think, the ideal thing to do with Epic Confrontation if you can. Shoot Down's one of those cards that a lot of people would put in a sideboard, but in this particular set with so many artifacts, a good amount of enchantments, and a good amount of creatures flying, I feel like this is main boardable, and it was. And someone actually got Wormcoil Engine, and that thing is really hard to get rid of, but Shoot Down would simply get rid of it. So I definitely included this in my deck, and it did its job. It did what it needed to do. With all those artifacts and Power Stones, Might Stones, Animation, I put 2 of them in. Makes a 4/4, which is great. So as you can see, this ended up being sort of a blue-green Simic deck, and this is the first time I've ever done blue-green. And what really pushed me into green was this. Oh my gosh, this was actually past like 2 people before it got to me. Titania's Command, and I got this off once, and it just, it's hard to beat. Plus, look at this. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. That's 2 +1/+1 counters. And then you get to choose any of these other things, like make 2 bears, or get some lands, or, exile a graveyard and get life via that. That's a lot of good stuff. And this is, I think, the most... this is the best card in this particular set, according to many people, and I can see why. I only got this to go off once, only drew it once, and glad I actually got to do that. So there you go. Overall record 1-2. Not a great record, but okay with it. So let's check out our little prizes. These are just draft boosters, so nothing crazy, unless I can pull something crazy. First of all, we have some Unfinity to check out. Nearby Planet, Chicken Troop. We got some fun cards here. I think the thing I would love to get would be like a Shockland. We got the Centaur of Attention. So it is legal because it has the non-acorn. We just got a regular plains, not the planet plains, and then we have all this funky stuff from the set. Okay, and then nothing great there. Then we got a draft booster of Dominaria United. In this particular set, getting a Shieldred would be pretty amazing. I think that's what I would want the most. We got the Angel, the land. Oh, we just got the Caves of Koilos. It's a pain land, not the best. And then this pack's backwards. Must be like a Japanese pack, so stuff from the previous draft set. So nothing great. Just the Caves of Koilos as the rare out of there. All right, next week it's pre-release time for Phyrexia All Is One. That's gonna be a ton of fun, I hope. Can't wait for that set to release and play something besides Brothers War. I feel like Brothers War has been here for a very long time, and now we're moving on. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.